All right, so we're gonna go ahead and write linear equations. So there's gonna be three different examples. The first thing that I want you guys to look into is, first of all, again, make sure that your notebook is out. Make sure that you pause the video, write everything down first, and then come back to it. Okay, but a few things to notice is that we have the slope-intercept form, we have the HK form, and we have the slope formula. We're going to be using those today, okay? So the goal is to be able to write a linear equation, all right? And we have three different examples. So the first one is given as a graph, the second one is given as the slope and the y-intercept, and the third one is given as two random points. Now, before we get started, let's take a look into what each one of those forms is given us. Remember that the slope-intercept form, the M is the slope, and the B, it's your y-intercept, okay? For your HK, your M is your slope, and then your H and K, it's a point, a random point, all right? And then obviously the slope formula helps you find the slope. All right, so if we take a look at number one, it's given as a graph, okay? Now, based on the graph, we can come up with a few things. For instance, that is our x-intercept, that is our y-intercept, and we can also bring out a point. That's a point which is 2, -1. Okay, so we can actually come up with a bunch of stuff. This one's actually another point, which would be -2, -3. Okay, so we have 2 points, we have a y-intercept, we have an x-intercept. Now, which one of the equations could I use that would be easiest? Well, in this case, I could use the slope-intercept form, okay? I could use the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Well, I know that that's another thing. We need to figure out our slope. Well, how do I get from this point to that point? I can actually go up by 1 and then 2. So then that would be, my slope would be 1/2, okay? Rise over 1, rise over 1, run 2, okay? All right, so I have a bunch of information. My slope is 1/2. I have 2 points. I have my x-intercept and I have my y-intercept. All I gotta do is basically plug it in. In this case, I need my slope and I need my y-intercept. Well, I know that m equals 1/2. And my b equals, in this case, is -2. So y equals 1/2 x minus 2 would be your equation. Okay. If I go to number 2, write a linear equation given a slope of -3 and y-intercept of 5. So again, I gotta come back to my equations and which one of those two can I use? Which one has a slope and a y-intercept? So again, I'm gonna pick the slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So back to the same thing. My slope is, in this case, -3, right? And my b is, in this case, 5. So all I gotta do is plug it in. Y equals -3x plus 5. And that is my equation. Okay, so all of those are pretty simple examples. and we're using the slope-intercept form. Now, what happens when the slope is not given to us? So let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. It's given us two random points. The y-intercept is not given to us, and the slope is not given to us. So y equals mx plus b, right? So in this case, this one, it's not gonna work. I gotta go ahead and use y equals mx minus h plus k, right? Which is my hk form. All right, well, the first thing that I gotta find is my slope. Well, remember, going back to our notes, that we can find the slope by using the slope formula. So that's gonna be what m equals y minus 2, y minus 1, x of 2 minus x of 1, okay? So all I gotta do is number my points. This is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? And then just plug them in. Remember to please put parentheses around this, okay? So we're gonna have that minus that, and then that minus that, okay? All right, so y2, it's gonna go right there. And then y1 is gonna go right there, okay? x2, it's gonna go right there. And x1 is gonna go right there. So I'm gonna be left with -5 minus 3, which is -8, -3 minus 3, which is gonna be -6, right? If we simplify the fraction, we got to simplify the fraction, so we're going to be left with negative divided by a negative, which is going to give me a positive, and a divided by 6 simplifies to 4 over 3. So my slope is going to be 4 over 3, right? So m equals 4 over 3. All right, so now all I got to do is pick one of the points. So pick one of the points. And you can pick either 3 comma 3 or -3 comma -5. Okay, it doesn't really matter which one. So let's just go ahead and plug them in. My equation is going to be y equals mx minus h plus k. So let's just go ahead and plug them in. Y equals m, which is 4 over 3, x minus the opposite. I'm going to pick this one first. So it's going to be 3 plus 3. Or y equals 4 over 3 x. And now I'm going to pick that one. It's going to be opposite. So that's going to be 3. And then minus 5. So either one of those two equations would be correct. All right. So make sure that you're writing this down. If you guys have any questions, you can message me on Teams. But other than that, that is how you write an equation.